All right, everyone, let me know if you could hear me. I'll be live in a couple minutes. I'm going to turn my mic off until then. All right, people. How is everyone doing today? I'm just loading up some questions real quick. Gonna say hi to people to start this off. All right, looks like we have 140 people up in here. That's beautiful. Mr. Jansen, sending you love, brother. Zenda Lion. Reich, Leopold, Walter Scott. We're going to have a good time tonight. There's probably going to be a lot less people on this live stream than usual. James, CVH, Liberty Prime, Cass, Rodriguez, David V, Andrew says, made it again. So good to be in this family. How are you feeling today? I am feeling amazing. I'm just doing my thing, you know, like usual. Been dealing with a lot of energy this past week, protecting my energy, staying away from the charts, staying away from negative people, building my force field. Adele says, how are you, family? Jordan, hope you're well. Sending love and blessings. I'm doing amazing. Sending love to you. Cryptic Behavior, Greg, Small Bear, Marco. Got someone from Croatia up in here. That's awesome. I was actually just talking about Croatia earlier because I went there probably a couple years ago and it was gorgeous. You're talking about like being in a place and the vibe and the energy and the scenery kind of like keeps you balanced. When you're living in other places like cities and you're surrounded by skyscrapers, like it could really bring your vibe down. Angela, glad you made it. Sanaz, sending love over to Tesla. I hope the little wolf pup's doing well. And by Tesla, I mean Sanaz's, her Siberian husky. Please send your high vibrations and good energies to me and my family, of course. Everyone in here is sending you love, Sanaz. I appreciate you. Kaz says, I made it here. I'm always working late on Friday. Miss a lot of lives. Happy to be here today. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, I think... were you the one that posted the picture of your dog wearing the zip-up hoodie? That was so sick. I love that picture. That picture was amazing. Here, I'm gonna drink some water real quick, kind of clear my voice. I've been speaking a lot lately, as you guys know I usually do. Also, let me know if you could hear the music. I want to kind of keep the music low just to prevent any copyright bullshit. But I need to listen to this album. Music is life, man. Legacy of Light. Beautiful. James Hayes. Okay, everyone's saying that they could hear me. Jay Chef. Beautiful. Okay. Got about 200 people in here. That's beautiful. Trio Design, what's up? Peacemaker, RB, Hola Lobos. Everyone's doing great. Amad says, lately I've started listening to Jordan Maxwell. Have you heard about him? Very interesting and unfortunately not well appreciated man. Definitely someone to get familiar with. Yeah, I'm aware of the work of Jordan Maxwell, particularly his work on Saturn and the cult of Saturn, and kind of this Saturnalian influence going on in the court system and in just all these like walks of life that we're a part of. It's kind of like one of the things that I've talked about in my work, actually, talking about how blockchain technology is part of this huge agenda. You know, it's going to weave its way into all these little crevices of our reality, whether it be the, you know, blockchain insurance or blockchain lending or pretty much anything, identity cards, certain digital identification tags. I mean, it's going to be everywhere. Every little aspect of our reality is going to be blockchain. And that's Saturn for you. Sanaz says, regarding the black cube in Mecca, there is a system of zodiac that talks about changing the sign of that city. It refers to the old Allah of zodiac, the new devil. Yeah, I mean, well, this black cube also comes back to the Ben stone, which, again, you'd have to do some research on to learn a little bit more about. But yeah, essentially this kind of, it's the remnants of the parasite, if you will, again. And like certain people, they blindly follow religion and they don't know much about anything that they're talking about. They just follow it. And again, they're followers. And people that are seeking truth, they're going to eventually have to, you know, question what choices they made in the past and question the cults that they've joined. And I don't say that to, like, you know, demean any one of their choices or their upbringing, but it's just facts. It's like if you associate yourself with groupthink, well, eventually you're going to fail as the group fails. And that's what these religions are all about. Essentially externalizing your power and being caught up in this trap. So this Mecca black cube, as these individuals walk around it, what they're doing is they're building up energy within that cube. And then who's siphoning all the energy from that cube? Well, it's the people who are running the show. The Brotherhood. Don't give them your energy. Period. Let's see, you got a lot of people up in here. It's beautiful. Let's see. What's my opinion on tattoos? I don't really have much to say about tattoos. I don't personally have any, which is funny because my mom used to be a tattoo artist. So if I wanted to get a tattoo, I could get one whenever I wanted. But yeah, it's not my thing. I'm not really too I'm trying to like shed away a lot of my materialism, like a lot of my connections to that kind of stuff. But again, I have nothing negative to say about other people getting tattoos or tribes getting tattoos or whatever. Like, it's up to you, like, do your thing. Do what makes you feel best in this meat suit, but don't go blowing all your fucking money trying to get a sleeve, Like, that's one of the things I saw happening in my youth. As people were growing up, they were just blowing a ton of money on tattoos, and it's like, then they have no money, and nobody likes you more or less because of the shit you wear or the tattoos you have. Like, people like you more or less because of the mind and the consciousness that you have and the way you carry yourself. And like a lot of people who are very fearful, they get a lot of these tattoos so they look like something that they're actually not. And again, like, if you're doing it for yourself, then beautiful, do it for yourself, and nobody could tell you otherwise. But if you're doing it to look like a certain thing for someone else, then you might have to ask yourself, like, maybe this isn't the right way to go. And that's everything in life, like even what we were talking about before about religion. It's like, it's all a part of the journey. It's all a part of the conquest. Like, sometimes you need to just really, go through all these trials and tribulations, and you need to make choices to sometimes learn how, well, maybe choices aren't the way to go. Like, I'll take that back. Commitments, excuse me. Sometimes you need to just make commitments to learn from those experiences and then, kind of decide from there. It's like the red pill, blue pill conversation, right? Like, people think the red pill is good. It's like, no, dude, they're the same. The red pill and the blue pill are the fucking same. It's just when I'm saying it in my videos and my intro, it's just to kind of connect with people who are more conscious, because of that association with the Matrix movie. But as we go deeper, we learn that the blue pill and the red pill are given to you by Morpheus, who in Greek mythology is the god of dreams. And like, it was never my, I don't want to be handing out pills to people. Like, that's not really what this is all about. This is about getting truth seekers to come together into a community where we're all thriving together. Like, there's no right or wrong. There's no left or right. There's no fucking Democrat or Republican. There just is. There's just existence. And it's conscious existence where we're trying to empower and better ourselves as a family. Let me see. Senpai Dank says, my mom's friend passed away from a heart attack today. Wow. Oh, we're sending our high vibes to you. I'm sure that's been a really hard day, and it means a lot to me that you decided to come join us today after that loss. I really appreciate you showing up here, and hopefully tonight and this live stream will bring you back to some peace in some way, shape, or form. That's what I strive to do, at least. Kevin says, need this after that crazy crypto week. Yeah, this crypto market's wild, man. Happy Man says, all good, the sound. Thank you to all the wonderful, beautiful souls in this live tonight. Thank you for sharing your energies. Let's make this life great. 100%, Jay. That's exactly what it's all about. Greg, sending you love, brother. King Pisces, I appreciate you. Stuart, what's up, brother? Oh, Cole. you just asked a very good question. So I think this will be enlightening for a concept to talk about in our live today. So Cole says, what are your thoughts on America's Pluto's return? So Cole, I might not be 100% correct about this, but I was talking to a friend recently who's really deep into this research of Pluto's return. And I also was talking with Logan on the phone the other night just about some concepts that I had where Pluto's return fit into all of this. So perhaps it'll be something I'll bring up in a video in the future. But anyways, Pluto's return gives us 55 in Chaldean. And as you know already, Satoshi Nakamoto gives us 55, but that's not even what I want to talk about. Pluto's return gives us 55 in Chaldean. Platinum Jubilee gives us 55 in Chaldean. And Queen Elizabeth also gives us 55 in Chaldean. This is very important that everyone pays attention to what I'm talking about right now. Because Pluto's return, and this is where I might be wrong, Cole, but again, correct me later. I don't know too much about this personally through my own research. I only know about some of the things that people have told me, but the decode that I've been working on was my own work. So I believe Pluto's return, the last time America had one was in 1776, which is the alleged year of the independence of the USA. But what's really fascinating is apparently Pluto's return starts on the 22nd of February, which is the 222 date numerology in the 222 year. This is fucking like super important to pay attention to because this is happening in the month of February, and I've been warning about this month, and you know, especially late February, because we don't really have too many market corrections that were massive in early February, but we do have a lot of data showing us that late February into March is a pretty standard time frame to have some corrections. And now I don't want to talk too much about this market tonight, but in the event of Pluto's return being as impactful as some of the people that have talked to me about it might be, and these connections between the 55s and Chaldean coming back to Platinum Jubilee, which again will be on the 6th of February, just like 2 weeks shy of the 22nd. And then also this Platinum Jubilee is to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Queen Elizabeth, again being 55 in Chaldean. I mean, this is crazy. Like, it's a crazy connection. There's so much to talk about with it. But February is absolutely going to be a big month. I don't know about how big it'll be in the market, but I do think it'll be a big month just on the world stage. And who knows how that'll work out, you know? But the work that I've been doing and the work that Logan's been doing and my friend who does tarot and has talked to me about Pluto's return, it seems to be it's going to be a pretty massive time. And who knows how it's all going to shake out, of course. Let me see. Adrian Papa, appreciate you joining. Mr. Twartap. Crypto KO, happy for you to be here as well. Ingeborg, hope I pronounced your name right. They get crazy with the jab mandates over here. So good to meet some wolves here. Yeah, I hope, you know, wherever you're at, if you're in our Discord, go ahead, share, you know, whatever country you're in, and you might meet more people in your area. You know, that's what you guys need to do. That's kind of the idea of the entire, you know, Discord. I hopefully want it to be like this sort of like beacon for a community to come together if shit gets wild. So make your connections, send friend requests to people who live in your country. And, you know, if you're especially out there in like Austria right now or Germany, like you guys got to get moving, bro. You have to really start fucking, if you don't want to be sucked into this New World Order vortex, you're going to have to do something about it. Christina Taylor, appreciate you showing up. Tam, appreciate you showing up. Steve. Got 333 people in the chat, and it is 5:15 p.m. where I am right now, which is 17:17 in military time. Gotta love the numbers. Send in all the good vibes to her family. Senpai Dank. Skofu. Says, do the light consumers aggravate you sometimes? I gotta admit, like, I'm really working on having nothing bother me. Like, I know that sounds like an impossible task, but I'm really, really working at that. Over the past week, I've learned a lot about what money can do to people emotionally. And I've seen people that have told me they love me tell me that they want me to die. It's been quite a week in my life, and I haven't exposed too much, about like what I'm going through. And that's not my intent tonight, because this is all about high vibrations, but I've seen it all. And as a content creator here on YouTube land, you kind of have to get ready for those swings of emotions that people experience. So I've just come to a position where it's not worth getting aggravated. It's not, because you're just giving people energy that don't deserve energy. Like, from day one, I designed this idea to be the leader of a community that spreads love and gnosis and just comes together when times are dark. And it's funny that when times get dark, people will start to disband and start blaming and start, kicking and screaming and bitching and moaning. And it's the complete opposite of a conscious being. Like, a true conscious being isn't worried about this money shit. They're not worried about any of that. Like, it's not even secondary in their life. It's barely tertiary. And again, like, money is money, right? We need it to be a part of this matrix. But it's those that are living in a lack-based mindset are the ones that are blaming, the ones that are angry, the ones that are frustrated, the ones that are consumed by it, consumed by these charts, consumed by these finances, consumed by all the news that happens in crypto. And it's the ones that manifest abundance that they're not really too worried about all this extra shit. They're just waking up every day. They're breathing in fresh air. They're grateful for what they have. That's how you continue to progress in this game. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. When it starts raining outside, you don't get frustrated. You can't control the fucking rain. You just have to deal with it. And how much better would it be, instead of getting frustrated, to go outside into the rain and just play in it like a child would play in it? Like, remember snow days? I remember when I was growing up, like, just the snow day was so fun. And then you become a grown-up, and like a snow day is like a complete hassle. It's like you have to fucking shovel your car out of the snow. You have to, like, you're like late for work. You're trying to scrape your windshield down. Anyone who lives in any place that has the winter time, it's like the worst. But when you're a little kid, you're just like super happy about it. You're like, it's the greatest day ever. As people grow up, they get so plasmatized in this like taking life too seriously shit. And the more and more seriously they take life, they never have fun. It's like there's no room for fun anymore. And the people who get really addicted to the charts, especially like crypto charts, their whole life just becomes like there's no fun. And whenever they're making money, they like feel like clever and like they're doing something right and virtuous. And it's like, no, you're not. You're just staring at a fucking screen. Like, you're not doing anything. But again, it takes time for people to see the words that I'm saying and actually feel them when these moments come. It's quite amazing, human psychology. Ovday Kuzman, the $5 super chat. I really appreciate you. Thank you for sending the heart. Much love. Mosh Taba says, come visit Iran. Yeah, I would love to go to Iran. That sounds dope. All the people I've ever met in my life that were from Iran were very, very nice to me. They were very kind. Beautiful people. I would love to go anywhere, anyone who's been locked down, where you can't leave the country for whatever reason. Like, I'm sure you just want to go everywhere right now if you're a traveler like me. I used to do so much traveling up until this fucking scam. Bill Candelo says, Bill from California, sending you much love and high vibrations to you, Jordan. Very appreciative of your gnosis. I appreciate you, Bill. Much love, and thank you for showing up tonight. Oh shit, beautiful Earth. All the best from Iceland. I owe you a tour of the island of everything you have done. Yo, keep in touch with me because Iceland's like one of my favorite places to go. Where are you at? Are you in Reykjavik? Let me know, beautiful Earth. I love Iceland. I've been there like 4 or 5 times. I appreciate you too. Like that's crazy that somebody from Iceland is listening to this live stream right now. Like there's like what, like 300,000 people there? Fuck, that's crazy. That made my night. Shit. Rambo says, Jordan sounds so chill. How do I get to that level? Honestly, you get to that level when you start, like, when you don't fear death anymore. Like, when you stop fearing death, when you stop fearing time, when you stop fearing just how other people feel about you, like, all of that stuff. Like, I've relinquished a lot of that throughout my time here on this earth plane. Like, I'm not worried about any of that anymore. And I know I'm protected, so whatever comes my way that's negative, like, it just bounces right off of me. I'm just here to serve my purpose, you know? And when you align with the purpose that you're serving, you could be a lot more calm about it. My he K $2 super chat. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Feel free to ask a question on your super chat as well if you have something that you're interested in me answering. Cass says, yes, that was my dog. They're here listening to the live too. That's dope. That picture really made my day. Like, seriously, when I saw that dog wearing the zip-up hoodie, I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome. I immediately screen capped it. Yeah, I'm listening to the Malls Monday album right now, but I'm not like consciously listening to it because I'm doing this live stream and I haven't got the opportunity to listen to it today because I was doing like back-to-back client calls all day up until this live stream. But when this is over, I'm definitely going to listen to it in on my speakers. I'm excited. Malls Monday is like super conscious and aware of what's going on. Mr. P. Love this fam. Me too. John says, how has your week gone so far? My week has gone really... Actually, there's like back-to-back questions that I guess kind of fit into each other. Steve also says, any goals for the new year? You know, I got to actually comment on that, Steve. I don't celebrate like days or anything anymore. Like, I don't celebrate New Year's. I don't even celebrate my birthday anymore. Like, I just don't care about time, you know? Like, I'm not really too focused on... Like, yeah, so my goals are just within. Like, my goals are just to keep going more and more and more and more within and, like, find the answers within. Because that's where, like, love is. That's where love stems from. Like, right now, what the New World Order wants out of all of us is to externalize our fucking humanity. They want us to externalize every little aspect of ourselves until our consciousness is just forfeited to, like, virtual reality. So I'm not letting them get that out of me. And I'm just going within. Like, I'm not worried about time anymore. I'm not worried about like when the new year starts. Like, I do it for my work. I do it for my business. But outside of that, like, I don't practice it. Because that's what they want. They want all of us being addicted to that calendar. They want us being fucking addicted to those little boxes. You know? Those little boxes are just traps. You cross out the box, it's a new day. That's a trap. I don't play around with that stuff. What does that question mean? Why have you assembled us? Good day. I'm not assembling anyone. I mean, people are welcome to show up. People are welcome to leave, right? Like, I'm not asking anyone to be on this live stream right now. I mean, I'm just speaking my truth, my answering questions, and if people resonate and it inspires them, you know, like, that's kind of what I wanted to do these live streams for, was to get away from the charts and get away from crypto and just have like a conscious conversation with humanity, you know, like something that's more than just this money shit. What's up, Novi? Glad you showed up. Maria says, feeling amazing after this past weekend eclipse. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Amad says, show some love to Jordan Maxwell. Very good, man. I mean, I don't know about that. Like, I do know Jordan Maxwell's a 33rd degree Freemason. He's absolutely part of the Brotherhood. So I would watch the energy you give him. I would watch the energy you give anyone you don't know. You know, like, that's some words of wisdom right there. Like, whether somebody's a teacher or not, like, if you don't know them, like, don't put them on a pedestal. I just worry about stuff like that because Maxwell has a lot of work out there that is absolutely disinformation. And he makes up a lot of shit on the fly that I've heard him say where I'm just like, no, man, I don't know about that. So again, it's all about what you resonate with, you know, like Mystic Mayhem says, $5 super chat. First of all, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. He says, what's your thoughts on Mr. Poole and the Riddlers? Seems pretty legit. I gotta admit, I don't know much about Mr. Poole's work. I've been seeing more people talk about it in the Discord, but I don't necessarily have any experience with it. I don't really spend too much time looking at other people's work. The only like content creators that I follow are John Levy, God Gave Lamps, and like once in a while I'll watch like cooking, like just random cooking stuff on YouTube, like learning how to make cool food, you know, like I don't mess around with like looking at too many other decoders work. Oh, and Logan, of course, like Logan, I pay attention to his work a lot, but me and him are friends. So we're just talking all the time. But outside of that, like I don't really know too many other decoders. So Mario says, hey, Jordan, Mario from Warrior Academy, sending you and the community love and high vibrations. Much love to Abdullah and Jackie also. I appreciate you, Mario. Thank you so much for the super chat. It really made my week when Coach JV sent me that video. When he sent me that out, that really made my, like, I want him to know that he really brought a smile to my face. I was having like kind of feeling it last week, and yeah, so I appreciate him. It was almost like he felt my vibe, and then he sent me that. It was really encouraging, and like, yeah, it just made me real happy. So Coach JV, brother for life, appreciate him. Jeannie Unleashed says, Jordan, your chat on another show about magic is at the top of my list of all-time favorite conversations. Fuck, that's amazing. Dope. Yeah, that was so fun. Me and Logan kind of just did that on the fly. And the last conversation that me and Logan had about Saturnalia, you guys have to check that out if you haven't already, because it ties in so well with that cyber pandemic conversation. And then we started talking about, you know, Platinum Jubilee and some of these other things. So go over to Logan's channel. It's Decode Your Reality. His work is absolutely incredible. Best decoder I know. He works with Chaldean Cipher when it comes to his, I guess you could call it his Gematria, but he includes everything, you know, string of pi. He uses the playing cards, tarot, periodic table, fucking just legendary stuff. And he's inspired me a lot to work on decodes in the background in a new way that I haven't thought about before. He was actually the person who inspired me to use the Chaldean Cipher. So shout out to Logan, because without him, I wouldn't even use the Chaldean Cipher. And he was the one who influenced me to do that. Diggs, I appreciate you, brother. Says divine elevation to all and much love. Jordan, thank you for being you. How are you doing today? I'm doing good. I got to admit, I'm doing much better now that I'm on this live stream, kind of just sharing energy with everyone here. Got a lot of love for all of you. Anthony 23, morning from the Gold Coast, Australia. That's beautiful. Grand rising to you, brother. So Small Bear says, Jordan, what are the biggest sources of knowledge that have shaped you along your way? I gotta admit, psychedelics and having conversations with animals, like just being closer to the animal kingdom and just being quiet and kind of taking time to pay attention more. You know, like I think people like me especially, like I have that like lion energy. I got that like that dragon energy where like I'm breathing fire, like, and my superpower is my throat chakra. And that's what has gotten me through this whole experience of life as a leader. But I humble myself like in the domain of the animal kingdom, and I've just learned a lot of lessons through like psychedelic experiences and seeing animals and just seeing like how pure they are and how free they really are, and then looking back and kind of examining the human species and seeing like the slavery that we're all trapped in with this money, with these bills we pay, with the mortgage, with marriage, with all this shit that we do. You know, like we're the least free species. We pay to live on our planet. We pay to drink water. Like, I mean, come on now. Just being able to like step back and analyze that for what it is, it's taught me a lot, that the animals are actually free. And when they're free, they're able to exist in a way that has purity and harmony, something we can never really quite achieve, unfortunately. Burn Dough, I appreciate you. Much love. No, I don't live in Melbourne. I used to live in Melbourne for a little bit, like about a year, but back on the East Coast now. Bob Walters, thank you. I appreciate you. The Gematria calculator I'm using is the Gematrinator calendar, calculator, excuse me. So you could just go on Gematrinator. Crypto Kahuna, I appreciate you. When did you wake up? Aaron said. I think I was just born, like, I was born this way, you know? I was just born, like, questioning authority and pissing off my teachers, and I guess I'm just lucky because my mom, like, thought it was funny. Like, whenever I would get sent home from school, or whenever I would just like tell my teachers that they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, like my mom would always just like laugh about it and be like, of course. Of course this is the reason why you're in trouble. I just always had a problem like with authority and with being told things that I knew weren't true. Like I had like at a very early age, I was impossible to indoctrinate. It was just so difficult, and it frustrated people who were teaching me. But also along my way, I had some beautiful teachers. Like my first real teacher, I'll admit, besides my mom, of course, was a man I worked with. Actually, he was my manager. His name was Syed Ali. He actually passed away recently, but he taught me a lot. Like he taught me about humanity and just how to be grateful, and yeah, he just changed my life for sure. And whenever he spoke, I listened. And that's been another thing for me. Like I've been able to quickly figure out who I resonate with. And a lot of times I don't talk with people just to preserve my energy, but when I'm talking with somebody that has, you know, some serious, like has something vibrationally that aligns with me at that time, I quiet myself and I pay attention. I try to absorb that wisdom and knowledge. I'm trying to find some questions. Do I want to live in the USA forever? No, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to live forever. I don't worry about anything like that. How old am I? 400 years old. Lolo, stop with that, like, that spamming shit. Who am I listening to? Malls Monday. And I believe it's Mick Jenkins on this album too. Other than moving to Wyoming, what are you going to do? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. I don't know where I'm going. I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm not getting too caught up in that. Open-minded says, how do we reach the Discord? So open-minded, if you wanted to join our Discord, you can become a Patreon of the Mastermind community at patreon.com/WatersAbove. The month pretty much just started, so yeah, that gives Discord access. Jehovah's Thickness. I really like that name. What are your thoughts on telekinesis? I think we could tap into telekinesis. I think we're all telekinetic until we get indoctrinated into speech. And that sounds kind of wild, but I mean, you could just pay attention to the animal kingdom and how babies act, and you can see clearly that there's something going on there that's much more sophisticated than we could possibly imagine. That's a good question about Pi Crypto. I don't really know what the hell's going on with them. If they come out with their coin on any exchange, it will probably do well, because most coins that hit an exchange instantaneously pump. And then it's just, I don't know how it'll go from there. But what I can say about Pi Crypto is they have a huge community. And it could be because of this like free phone mining. But I don't know, man, just mine it. Who cares? It's free. Doesn't take any energy from your phone. Like, doesn't really matter, right? Like, just earn it for free, and who knows what it could become. In 10 years, it might be on exchanges for $1 each. And if you still have your coins, then you'll be able to make a ton of money off of it, depending on how much you have. MyHK, $2 super chat. What do you think the market would be like in mid-2022? Well, it's really hard to say. I mean, we do need to kind of give this transition period into early January a chance to see how it plays out, because I gotta admit, like, this whole market was working very similarly to the 2013 bull run up until like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then we got thrown a curveball, and that's fine. That's life. We learned from that. But as for mid-2022, there's a lot of fractals that I've seen that play themselves out into April and even early May. So I'm open-minded for anything at this time. But I think historically we tend to see early January is pretty solid. So, yep, again, just have to wait and see how that will turn out. March and late February and March are typically garbage, and then we have sell in May, walk away, and then historically most of our market crashes happen in September, October, November. So keep that in the back of your mind. Crypto C says, hey there, Teresa from Virginia. Thank you for all you have done. Send in love and peace. I appreciate you. Thank you. What's good, David? I'm going to give you a wrench. David Wolashok. Someday I'll know how to say your name right. Appreciate you showing up, brother. Byron said the elites control the rain. That's probably true too, actually. David says, do you mean it will get too dark in Germany? Well, I think they're just going to push the jab mandate so hard in Germany, just like they're doing in Austria, and then eventually all the European countries, and then you're going to have to, deal with that. So it's much better to just get the hell out beforehand, so that way you don't have to deal with that as much. Stuart Scott, appreciate you showing up, brother. I don't watch Terrence McKenna, but I've listened to a bunch of his, Terrence McKenna, what are they, like lectures? Super fascinating guy. He's very open-minded, I gotta admit. I haven't watched or listened to enough of his stuff to form any like opinion, besides it's just great to have another conscious leader out there who put in the work that he did. One thing I will say, though, I'm not really that excited about Esalen Institute. I've studied Esalen enough to know that, like, it's had some really fucking shady characters involved in it. And I do know that Terrence McKenna was part of Esalen. Not to say that every single person who's a part of it is bad. It's just if you start to study deeper into Esalen, you'll see that, there's a lot of shit they're doing with psychedelics, predominantly the artificial, like man-made psychedelics that have been used for MK Ultra and like have fucking destroyed people. So, you know, mushrooms are never going to do that to people unless you like OD on Amanita muscaria. But like for the most part, you know, these really synthesized synthetic shit that they were doing in Esalen, it's not cool, man. They were like, people were forgetting their names. They were forgetting they had children. Like they were really pushing the limits, and they weren't being transparent with people that they were doing that to. They literally were, yeah, they put them through essentially a whole gambit of MK Ultra and fucked them up forever. And that's Esalen Institute. They've been a part of that for sure. And a lot of the documentation that they have has been like seized by the government and hidden. And I don't know, it's a little shady for me. So again, like anything, like what we were talking about with Jordan Maxwell, like sure, he has some beautiful words of wisdom, some gnosis that you could get from him, but he's a 33rd degree Freemason. So it's like, well, you got to remember that, you know, I'm pretty sure he admits he's a Mason too in some of his work. And that's not to say that every Mason's a bad guy. That's not to say that every Mason is deceiving us. But at the high levels, they got there by being deceived. Remember, the first 3 levels in Freemasonry are essentially lies. So you get taught later in the game that you were being lied to just to see how good you are at keeping secrets. So if you've been put through the ringer and then you get to those higher levels, you're going to put your students through the ringer as well. They're not really pushing open-mindedness and the freedom of thought. They're pushing their teachings, and they're not telling you that, you know, anything's possible. They're not telling you that, hey, like whatever I'm teaching you right now, this is just my code. This is just my way of perceiving reality. Take what you're learning from me and apply it to what you vibrationally align with, and that will set you free. That will get you to be more in tune with your intuition and your intentions. And that's the work that I want to do on this stage called YouTube, or whatever the fuck social media platform I become a part of. T. Livingston, $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, brother. Says Jordan, I love you. Well, I love you. Thank you for teaching me a life skill. The rest is up to me. Thought about us being the Matrix for the simulation attempts will continue. Also May 13th. Let's talk about it. Yeah, for sure. I actually was planning on rewatching the Matrix series just because I know the new Matrix is coming out, and I would love to decode the Matrix for the Patreon supporters. So that's something that I want to do for sure, especially if the market isn't like fully recovered by then. It would be a good little side project for me. So as for May 13th, so the idea behind May 13th was that we have a Friday the 13th, which is May 13th. And if you take from the day the pandemic started in 2020, which was March 11th, and then you go over 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days, it will be May 13th of 2022. Again, 222 in the 222 year. It's powerful shit. And remember, these Friday the 13th are super important. So yeah, May 13th is interesting to me. I also think it's called like Ascension Day or some shit like that. I don't know. I have a lot to learn about it. I'm not trying to get too caught up in the future right now though, because it's December. May 13th is a while away. Taking it one thing at a time. I'm not getting too caught up in 6 months down the road or whatever. Yeah, Alan Watts is, again, another great teacher. Stealth Hawk, love you too. Christine Buckley, I appreciate you. Thank you. Zach Hall, it's all about being calm, man. Because what can you do about anything? You know, like what could you really do about anything that's happening right now? Anything, whether that's the market, that's your fucking bank account, that's your relationship, that's what your kids are doing. Like, love is allowing, and if you become truly like okay with what I just said, then you could be more calm in your day-to-day reality. Like, yeah, I'm super calm about everything because I'm allowing everything. It is what it is. And there's nothing that I can necessarily do about these external things. What I can do is go within, and I could change how I feel. I could change how I react. I could change how I move forward from what I've learned. That's what I can do. I could admit where I'm wrong. I could be okay with where I'm right, but ultimately it's all learning or unlearning, depending on how you want to perceive it. That's the beauty of reality. Like you're either living or you're basically just, being swept up in someone else's life. Live your own life. I think me and Logan talked about this one time about how like you want to be the main character in your movie, not like a side character. Oh, I love this song. Boogie. West Side Boogie. Dope rapper. Johnny Crypto says, hello, Waters Above. This is Johnny Crypto from Coach JV's research team at the Academy. Just wanted to send some love and high vibrations and also a shout out to Abs, Mario, and Jackie. We love you, bro. I love seeing this. I love seeing the 3T Warrior Academy showing love, man. That's dope. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope one day we could all meet. Maybe do a couple grams of shrooms together. I'm just kidding. Imagine me and Coach JV together on shrooms. That'd be so funny, man. Starflower says not into crypto, but like listening to you. That's what's up. I don't even know how you got here, but that's beautiful. That's what we're all left with at the end of the day, right? Whether you have like ton of money in crypto or you have no money in crypto, like life is so much more than fucking cryptocurrency. Jeez. Asked, are you a Michael Talbot fan? No, I'm not sure who that is. Aldona, hey, how are you? More hugs. How's it going, Bliss Crypto? I hope you're doing well. Feel like it's been forever. Wishing you and the family high vibrations and love. Kaz Yamamoto says, have you tried to decode yourself? I've been watching Logan's Decode Your Reality videos and learning a lot. I started wondering what my purpose to be on this planet. I'm curious. Well, you know what you should do? You should reach out to Logan and you should get a reading from him. Because, I mean, if you're gonna get a reading from anyone and you want to learn like more about yourself, you definitely want to contact him. Absolutely important. Because Logan did a reading on me and it put together so many pieces. Like it was really wild to see so many things that I already aligned with and like how it was coming out in the code. P Bucko 80 says, you inspire me every time I hear you talk. Damn. That means a lot to me, man. I appreciate you. I'm Awake RU says, wow, I'm so glad you called out Jordan Maxwell. Well, I mean, I don't want to be negative, I don't want to be negative about anyone. I don't know Jordan Maxwell. Like, I'm just trying to answer my questions, but not have any like thing negative to say about anyone in our world. All I was saying about Jordan Maxwell was he has some things he can give you, but don't give people praises that you don't know, like that's it. Like, I'm just trying to like have people protect their energy. That's all. Don't hate the guy. I'm not trying to expose him. I'm not trying to like be negative. Like what I want from everyone, if I could teach anyone anything, is everything in this reality that you consume, just take what serves you and leave the rest. It's like, that's it. It's like, take what serves you and leave the rest. You don't need to love every single little aspect about everyone to get something from them. You don't need to understand every aspect of somebody to get something from them. And you don't even need to get anything from anyone. It just is what it is. Like, you vibrationally align with something, you can learn from it and keep it moving. If we knew the truth about everyone we gave praises, we would probably stop giving them praises. And that's like ultimately what I'm trying to teach by protecting energy. Like it's quite important. So I don't want to be the guy who's calling out somebody I don't know. I'm trying to be humble. Jack Paulo says, ask Soda, introduce your friend to us. Well, he might be in here. His YouTube account is Pride Films. At least the one that he's been using to go on my live streams. Are you out there, Ambrose? Show your face. Soda's my boy. Let me see if there's any questions. What do I think about biting being a clone? I don't give a shit about any of those guys, man. I really don't. Like, I've given up on giving these politicians my energy. You know, I really have. I've given up. I'm done with them. Like, every day I wake up and, like, if I need to get food, I don't see, like, any of these politicians buying my groceries. So until these fucking lizards are supporting me, I don't give a fuck about them. I don't care if they're lizards or if they're cyborgs or if they're anything. Like, stop blaming these elites, bro. We outnumber them 99.99 to 1. And people are sitting around worrying about these fucking elites. Like, we are the ones that need to make change. Like, this is just facts. Like, so many people get caught up in this, like, idea that they're deceiving us. Like, well, then fucking become smarter. Don't get tricked. If you're aware if they are deceiving you, then great. Go walk around and help people wake up, if that's what you think. These elites are always going to maintain position because they don't worry about us. And every time we give them energy, whether it's negative or positive, they're siphoning that away from us and they're transmuting that into gold. We are their food. We're their currency. Don't let them do that to you. Don't let them do that to you. Again, you don't know them. You don't know if they're good or bad. So every time we give them that energy, that duality shit, it's going to come back to haunt you, I promise. Crypto Jim says, you need to collaborate with 22 Savage 22. Your different views of the Matrix would be fascinating. Oh, yeah. Is this a decoder on, like, Twitter? I've seen his work also being posted a couple places in the Discord, and I do think he's given me a shout-out before. Him or her, I don't know. But, yeah, if they ever reach out to me, I'll definitely have a conversation with them and see if a collab could be in the making. Mystic Mayhem says, yo, my friend, what are your thoughts on the Mandala effect? A glitch in the Matrix or something like a long time loop correction? Much love to you, brother. You know, that's a great question, man. I had a phone call once with a guy named Boyd Anderson. I'm not sure if you guys know this guy. He's very nice. He had a lot to say, but he was talking to me about all the crazy, like, it was the craziest fucking conversation I've ever had. Seriously. Like, I texted Boyd and he, like, within 5 minutes, he was like, call me. So I was like, I called him and it was really him. Like, it was the same guy that you see on the interviews. And he was just spilling the beans, man. I was like, I felt fearful for this guy. Like, oh man. So he started telling me all sorts of crazy shit about CERN and, like, Greenland and like Saskatchewan territory, Regina, like a bunch of crazy. And when I say crazy, like, I mean it with the utmost respect. Like, this guy was different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was different. But yeah, I mean, he was really adamant about CERN and, you know, kind of creating some tears in the timeline, if you will. And through my study of the looking glass technology over in the Vatican, it seems to be that they're aware that there might be multiple timelines. And I don't necessarily know if that aligns with the simulation theory that we're getting from, like, these shills like Elon Musk and some other fuckboys. But, like, when it comes to this idea of multiple timelines, we might actually have two. And this comes from, like, leaked information that's from these high-level Illuminati types. And what I think this CERN thing is doing is it's possibly creating, like, it's possibly stretching time, but it could also be creating tears in the tear in time. And they're using one timeline as like a test, and the other timeline they're not going to fuck with on purpose. So it's really hard to explain this, man. Like, it's nearly impossible because I haven't talked with enough people about it at nauseum to really understand what's happening here. But perhaps we're in the timeline that's a test timeline. Like, we have timeline A and we have timeline B, and timeline A is the one that they use as a test. Now, that is essentially me trying to tell us that we might be in the fucking Truman Show. And that is really discouraging. Like, a lot of scientists that work on this information become extremely depressed when they learn how the timeline that we're on might actually be 100% artificial and controlled. Now, again, I don't know how to take that because any decoders out there they have their own opinions, but it's just stuff that I've heard when talking with Boyd and other people. So the Mozzie Kid, $5 super chat. Oh no, I'm losing people's... Sorry. Mozzie Kid, I love you. I'm sorry I missed your super chat. It just kind of like blew away in the wind. Email me and I'll hit you up. Uni. Hi, Jordan, Greg, and I are finally making a live. Appreciate your lunar cycles and back. Appreciate you to the lunar cycles and back. I appreciate you guys. It was great talking with you both earlier. Yeah, it's probably hard for you to catch lives because you were just in another part of the world. Now you're back in a much better part of the world. Glad to have you both back together and living a much higher vibe reality. Appreciate both of you so much. I wonder if this current 3D matrix will be melting buildings soon. I hope. Melted buildings in our lifetime. Imagine, guys. Imagine. Yeah, Ishara says paying for water that falls from the sky is crazy. I live on 10 acres and have huge water tanks. We love rainwater. Yeah, and it's also illegal. It's illegal to collect rainwater in the United States. Funny as shit, right? Pete Swanson says, have you ever been to jail? No, I haven't been, but my father's been to jail like 10 times, so I definitely know about this. I know about the ins and outs of it for sure. Not personally, but vicariously, of course. Dawn says, have you ever done DMT? No, I have not. Appreciate you, Anthony. Trying to... Damn, I didn't even notice how many questions are up in here. Shit. Can you help me make 100K? Sell your soul. I'm just kidding. Sell your pineal gland on the black market if you want a quick 100K. How to do research like you, Simus says. Well, I did a lot of my research probably over the last 10, 15 years, and then I stopped researching because I learned that a lot of answers are just right there in front of our eyes. You know, like a lot of shit is just right in front of us, and we don't even, you know, we bypass it. Like the word religion, right? Religion is Ra-ligion, Rosh Hashanah. It is Ra Shoshana. It is all about the sun. It is all about sun worship. Okay? So a lot of this shit is right in front of our eyes. Like if you really want to do some research that I think will expedite your process, go learn about the Titans. Go learn about the mythologies. Like just go straight to Greek and Roman mythological creatures, deities, Titans, whatever you want to call them, and then start learning about the ancient Egyptian and Sumerian, and then perhaps Vedic. You know, start learning about that. And once you start seeing the code breaking itself down through all of their similarities, it's going to be mind-blowing shit. You'll start to see a lot, and you'll see which cults rule what. Like you'll see exactly like what focal point each of these titans come back to. Some of them are natural, some of them are completely simulated. It's really interesting. And I think that research that I did really sped up my process of and ultimately just like the disciples, just like Jesus Christ is you and the 12 disciples are aspects of you. They are your personality traits. This is basic stuff, but people bypass it because they externalize it and they make it all about like this Bible thing. But it's not. It's deeper than that, okay? So all in all, Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, or Ra, Geb, Nut, Horus, Osiris, Isis, Seth. These are all characters that you are, because you are the universe experiencing all the things. They are aspects of you. You are as powerful as them. You just have to tap into that. And of course, the way you could tap into that is learning their stories. And then you'll see how you could actually dissect their stories and apply it to you. And that could bring you a lot of power here in this Matrix experience. I'm just going to take some sip of some water. Mystic Mayhem says, how do you spell the musician Jordan is listening to? It's Malz Monday. M-A-L-Z. Monday. Chris McCarty says, Coach JV is a scam. Dude claims Jesus, but asks you to pay $200+ for his info. How is that a scam? So Chris, no disrespect, but like that energy that you're giving, it's going to come back onto you. Like we live in the Matrix where money is part of it. And this man runs a business and he has children. He needs to feed his fucking children. How is he? Are you serious? The man has a family. Like show some respect. Like, if you don't like what somebody charges for their services, that's fine. But like, you're putting that, you're vocalizing that, and you don't understand that you're speaking spells. And what this is going to do is it's going to come back to haunt you. I'm just trying to teach you how to protect yourself. Doesn't matter what amount people ask for services. Information is money in and of itself because information is currency. Anyways, I'm not going to give that any attention. Just ridiculous. All right. Says, they do control the rain, the whole weather. Well, we could also control the rain too. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that, but we, the people, have the power to change the weather. And if we were spending time tapping into that as a family, as a community, well, then we could undo all the shit that they've done wrong. All the things that they're doing to manipulate our matrix, we could undo it, but we're so distracted, like doing other fucking nonsense. So as much as the elites could change the weather with their technology, we could change the weather with our consciousness, with our feelings, with our magic. We have that magic. That's 100% facts. Study the Aborigine and study their rituals, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Yeah, Windfall says Terrence was CIA encouraging to do psychedelics to destroy your life and wreck your perspective. So I have heard that. I have heard that he was in the CIA, just like, what's his name? The guitar player, was it Jerry Garcia? Jerry Garcia, I believe, was an operative in the CIA as well. Yeah, again, like, I mean, I'm always watching myself with these guys, like famous people. Here's the thing, guys. If they're famous, they're typically part of the brotherhood. Period. End of story. That goes for politicians, fucking artists, everyone. Like, they're all... You don't think Pablo Picasso was in the Illuminati? Think again. They're all part of the club. Okay? So that goes for all of the spiritual leaders. That goes for, like, it just is what it is. Like, people who get fame have fame because they are pushed by mainstream media in some way, shape, or form, whether that's newspapers or radio, or today's day and age, it could be social media, whatever. Famous people are famous because advertising. And that advertising comes from a very select group of corporations who own the fucking media. Again, and this all siphons back to the City of London. So go study how media spreads, and you'll learn how fame is a thing. All fame is systemic of advertising and pushing a name out there. And the way it gets pushed out there is through this brotherhood. Maglu, much love. Mystic Mayhem says, speaking on McKenna, how do you see the machine elves being the architects of this energetic spiritual animal farm harvest loop cycle? Shit. That was a deep sentence, Mystic. First of all, I appreciate your super chat again. Thank you. All right. Well, the machine elves are showing up in the DMT realm, and the DMT realm is artificial. It's what we're looking at right now in this live stream. This is completely artificial. Okay. What's going on in this DMT realm is you're entering a place that is quite interesting, because these elves and this idea of Santa Claus, again, that's an anagram for Satan. Satan is not like the devil. Okay. It's deeper than that. And Satan is also not Saturn. Again, another misconception. So, damn, like, where do we even begin, right? Because there's so many psyops coming from all angles, it's hard to really talk about it. But DMT is an artificial thing. When we're talking about the level of DMT that most people are getting DMT artificially. Very few people are getting it from the toad, or perhaps even... Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, because DMT is in everything. It's within us also, actually. It's being secreted in the dream state naturally. So... most of the time when people are smoking DMT, which is the normal way of doing it, is 100% artificial. It's extracted from nature, sure, but it's clearly not natural anymore. It's been synthesized in a laboratory to do something that wouldn't normally be happening or occurring in nature. Like a mushroom, you go walk up to it, pick it out of the ground, bite into it, and have a psychedelic experience. That is not the same thing as smoking crystallized DMT. So this machine elves thing that happens when you enter the DMT realm, a lot of people come back and talk about it, and it's quite interesting, because these are like the little helpers of the greater race that has parasited us. So, like, again, if you learn about the Greys aren't necessarily powerful. They're not powerful at all. They have some power that is interdimensional, and of course that can control us, given that we're trapped in this third dimensional realm when we're awake. That's why whenever people have, like, quote unquote alien invasions or like any of that shit, it's usually happening when you're asleep, because when you're in the asleep state, you're much easier to infiltrate. Okay? That's why these aliens are coming in, and anyways, I don't want to jump around too much, but when you're smoking DMT, you pass out. You literally fucking go to sleep, and you enter this different realm, and it's very easy to affect you and to manipulate the way that you're perceiving reality. And I'm not here to say good or bad, because again, that's just duality. I could really care less, and I personally have not done DMT. I'm just answering your question in regards to McKenna talking about these machine elves, excuse me, and being the architects. So they're the architects of this DMT realm, and that is it. It's a machine world. It's a world that will be very similar to this transhumanism agenda that is going to be pushed in the future. They're already being pushed right now with VR. And I am personally 0% interested in that. I do not give a fuck about that realm, and I will not be going there. So I'll let people have fun with their synthesized DMT. Enjoy yourself, but that's not for me. I'm happy enough even without mushrooms. So I could create inner peace and I could learn a lot from within just from playing guitar. And that's ultimately where people want to get. Like, I'm not telling you you need to get to my level or you should be at that level. I'm just saying that if you start to rely on something, that's where it gets out of your control. So if you need psychedelics in order to expand consciously, well, then there you go. You're right back at heroin again. I know not many people say shit like this, but it's facts. Like, you should not rely on something externalized to tap within, to tap into yourself. You can do that with Tantra. You can do that with meditation. You could do that with pranayama. You could do that with exercise. You could do that with dancing. You could do that with playing music. You do not need mushrooms and DMT and fucking LSD to get there. Anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you on some idea, and that's because there's a business behind all things. And I worry about that stuff sometimes because not everyone has the strongest consciousness to deal with the sensations of being in a psychedelic experience. It could really fuck with some people. And, mushrooms is one thing, but LSD and DMT have created some really life-altering experiences for some people that it's hard for them to come back from. And it's hard for them to come back from it with utility. Like, what did I take away from this experience and how is it going to help me be a better human on this planet? So that's the end of my rant. But I'm passionate about stuff like that because I think a lot of people learn about these psychedelics and they just think they're so fucking great, but they're not being told the basics. They're not being told, like, hey, you might want to clean up your diet. You might want to clean up your mindset. You might want to clean up the way you treat other people. You might want to invite some more love into your life because these mushrooms aren't going to fucking make anything better. DMT is not going to make you better. Like, if you're a vile person who's full of hate and you have a lot of issues going on where you can't let go of just like basic fears, I mean, sure, you could have what's called a quote unquote ego death, and perhaps that might be your breakthrough. Your breakthrough might be mushrooms. Your breakthrough might be DMT. But really, are you going to get that much more work done just from that? Or is it going to be all those other components that you have to break down and work at? It's like a relationship. You have a relationship going on with yourself. Respect that relationship. Look at that relationship in the mirror and ask yourself, like, go through the struggle of dealing with it and correcting those habits and those problems and those fears that you have. That's really where the work gets done. Don't rely on any mushroom or pill or fucking anything. That's exactly how this becomes a trap for everyone. There's no like get out of jail free card with consciousness. It's a journey. It's a real fucking journey. You don't just pop a pill and out of nowhere you're enlightened. Doesn't work that way. Lisa J said, needed to hear this, working on getting over a breakup that I messed up, just learning and growing from it. Well, Lisa, I'm sending you high vibrations. I'm glad that you made it here tonight. It's beautiful that you joined us, even though you're going through what you're going through. And all these experiences of breaking up with people have been happening since this pandemic. And, I believe it's been making people really learn so much about themselves, because sometimes you do need a little bit of alone time to self-reflect and ask yourself, like, what do you want how are you going to serve your purpose moving forward? Does this person that was in my life serve my purpose? Are they here for my betterment? Are they here because they're supporting me? Or are they just here for some materialistic reason or a sexual reason or whatever? Again, I'm not talking directly to you, Lisa. I just mean anyone in here who's going through that relationship problem right now. Let me see. Animal I've learned the most from. My first dog, I had a Siberian Husky, and she taught me a lot about responsibility and how to be a friend, like a really good friend. Somebody who cares about somebody who loves someone unconditionally. I learned that I struggled with that a lot in my life from being, I suppose, very early on going through my stages of enlightenment and feeling a lot of loneliness, feeling a lot of, inability to be compatible with others. Let me see. We can get some more questions. Oh, Sliding with Sasquatch, $5 super chat, says, I love you so much, brother. You and Logan have set me free. I'm no longer part of this world. I've become something else. Wow. Much love to the wolf pack. Wow. I never thought I would hear anyone say that to me. Wow. Well, John, I appreciate you, brother. Much love. I'm so glad that you're a part of this community, part of this mission with all of us, this journey through the cosmos. It's beautiful words to hear. Appreciate you. So Chris says, please state that in your crypto videos, dude. Remind the masses that life is more. Kind of confuses some. So Chris, I appreciate you, but I do say that all the time in my videos. I say in every video I make how important it is to save your emotions for life, not this market. I talk about it every week. I'm one of the only people that's really pushing that, that's pushing this type of, I don't know what to say. Perhaps you don't listen to my videos thoroughly. Again, I'm not calling you out on that, but yeah, I remind the masses every week that there's so much more to life than crypto. I always say it. Okay. And again, Chris, much love, brother. I'm glad you're stating your feelings. $400 people up in here. That's amazing. Let me see what's going on. Okay, just a little bit of, I don't know if this is fear or hate, but I'll answer this because it might be needed to hear. Trini Bad Boy 13 says, you mentioned Zachary Hubbard before and you were saying we should see through that 22 shit. Well, he's on 24 now. You still think we should see through him? I've never said anything bad. Whatever I've said about Zach, it was a direct answer to a question that I was asked. I do not know Zach. I do not know. I've never had a conversation with him. I have nothing bad to say about the guy. He is helping so many people learn about Gematria. Whether he's pushing only the Jesuit kind of, I don't know. I just don't follow his work anymore because it seems a little bit finger pointy to me. And I'm just being real. I'm being a real one. With all due respect, Zach is helping the greater good. This man is waking up every fucking day and doing something with his life. He is fucking teaching people shit. Most people just wake up and don't do anything. So how could I ever say anything bad about a man who's doing his part to wake up humanity? I want people to come here and remember that, I respect any and all creators, but I don't know this man, Zach. I don't know his vibe. I don't know what he's about. I'll start out with ultra love and respect for what he's doing, though. But see through him? I don't know. That's not really my vibe. I don't know. He's doing his thing. I'm just personally me. I don't like to do my work and then have it be all about blaming and finger pointing. For me, it's not just the Jesuit order. It's not. Bro, the Jesuits are not even that high up in the ranks. They're fucking low level if you actually learn about how high this pyramid goes. So it's just one little aspect. The Jesuits are being used. Most of them are being used. The rabbis, used. The Pope, used. Yes, they're powerful, but they're not like, I don't want my whole work to be about like, look, it's all about these guys. They're the ones fucking it up, because what I've learned throughout my journey of consciousness is it's us. It's the masses that need to change. What are we learning by just pointing fingers at the Jesuit order all day? Again, like, I say this with all respect to Zach Hubbard. It just seems that a majority of his work keeps coming back to that. And that's a little bit off my vibe. Again, all the love though, because he's doing something that very few people are doing, and he's doing it at a scale that is respectable, way bigger than my platform. And I also want to show him respect because a lot of people found my platform because of that man's work. So if he's listening to this, or if anyone's listening to this, I'm showing my respects. Appreciate you, Zach Hubbard, for doing what you've done for this matrix. It's all love. Happy Man, $5 super chat with the ice cream cone. Jay, one day I'm going to go to Brazil. I'm going to get myself some of your ice cream, man. I'm really excited for that. Jay, you got to share where your ice cream shop is, maybe, if you want some more business. I'm sure anyone up in Brazil would love to go visit another wolf entrepreneur out there doing his thing. All right. Moving through some questions. Science Palace, $2 super chat, says, any thoughts on the Ripple case? I really don't know, man. I mean, it's a pretty big psyop. Like, I've been saying that for a while. I really don't think, I really don't think that, it has anything to do with much besides just a distraction. And I think this XRP army thing, like, it's really not good. It's unhealthy. And my channel was like, from day one, I've been basically helping these XRP army survivors to kind of wake up to there's more to this. There's more to this than just, what they're being shown with all these newspaper articles and Twitter posts. Because I know that there's a lot of big channels out there that's predominantly what their work is all about. It's just showing Twitter posts. And it's like, well, I don't really know what you're teaching people. Like, I don't know what skill is being taught here to just follow a case. Like, to me, that's insincere work. I'll leave it at that. I don't really care about the news. And you'll never be seeing me make news videos. It's just not my thing. I think the news is, again, it's north, east, west, south. It's the broken compass. It's there to create duality and confusion. It's disinformation, and it's all owned by a very select group of families, and it's controlled by those same families, and those families belong to a bloodline, so it only works in their best interest to spread a narrative the way that suits their main agenda. So again, just remember what I said. That is facts. You could go learn about that very quickly. It all comes back to the same families that run the media. So, not falling for that. So, Sven Dab says CERN is not the Mandela effect. Yeah, I'm completely aware. Nobody really knows. So, Sven, I never profess to say that CERN is, creating the Mandela effect. I never said that. I'm completely open-minded to whatever it could be, but the stories that I've heard now, and again, Boyd Anderson is not like a low-level guy. Like, he has experience with elites. So to have that phone conversation with him and to talk to him a little bit about Mandela effect and what's going on in our timeline and why it seems to be there's some glitches and why were they pushing this TV show, what was it called, Stranger Things, at the time that they were pushing it, the same way that they pushed the pandemic sort of movies and how they're pushing all that. Like, they just do what they do according to the timeline so that we get distracted by it and it becomes something of science fiction. But in reality, it's pretty much reality, actually. So again, I've never said CERN is the Mandela effect. I don't know how that came to be, but anyways, 391 people in here. It's amazing. What is time? I like that question. Yes, we are in a divine comedy. We're in a big comedy right now, everyone. Laugh. Start laughing. You'll feel better. Hey, Sarah. Appreciate you showing up. That was at 30 minutes ago, so I am so far behind in questions. There's so many fucking questions. Okay, Alonzo says, hi, Jordan. Hope you're well. Which crypto sector do you think would not be hit in a bear market? Whoa. I don't know, Alonzo. That's a good question, because if you remember in 2019, I believe, while we were, I don't know, like 2018, 2019 was pretty bullish for Chainlink, and that was a DeFi, but a lot of DeFis were not doing good. I don't know, to be honest. Like, crypto is very weird right now because there's too many new instruments. Like, I remember back when, for example, when I was just talking about DeFi, like, that's all people would talk about and no one would shut up. And when it became the largest conversation, it was a bubble, and then the bubble popped. And a lot of other coins after that bubble pop, the liquidity shifted into a bunch of other projects. And then all the YouTubers stopped talking about the DeFi projects. And where did they move to? They just moved to the next new thing to talk about. So it's the same thing with metaverse. Like, these metaverse tokens are getting all the like attention, and then that creates another bubble, and the bubble pops, and then that liquidity floats into something else, and it's just fucking endless. It's like, if anyone's been in this crypto market for enough years now, you know that it's just a cycle. So it's hard to determine, Alonzo, like, which independent crypto, or, you know, you said sector, would be like impervious to a bear market. I mean, stable coins. That's it. Like, honestly, when Bitcoin takes a huge shit, everything else takes a huge shit. And especially if dominance rolls back into Bitcoin during a bear market, that really will fuck up the altcoins as a whole. And if you pay attention to the altcoin market cap chart, you could see this. It's just flipping from one perpetual style to another. And they're getting way too many people hype about NFTs and metaverse and this shit right now. Like, they're just building up way too much hype, and that I don't like that. But let's keep the crypto questions like at bay for now, because I kind of want to keep this focused on other things. He said Jordan David Icke ? David Icke, again, like, I respect him for doing the work that he did back in the day. I don't know what side he's really on. Like, he's pushed some pretty great, eye-opening, enlightening concepts. I always wondered if Arizona Wilder was real, like that lady, or if she's just a paid actor. But I would love to meet Arizona Wilder and talk with her. I don't even know if she's alive, actually. She's probably like one of those people that got like taken out. But yeah, if you guys don't know about Arizona Wilder, go watch the interview that she did with David Icke a while ago. It's crazy. Like, she's talking about shapeshifters and like the Queen Elizabeth and all this stuff. It's amazing. Like, whether it's real or not doesn't matter. It's just super fascinating to talk about that subject, because I think if anyone wanted to know the truth about something, it would probably be like, what shape is the earth, and are shapeshifters real? Like, that would be the two things that, like, I think if anyone got to the pearly gates and they were looking at God, it'd be like, God, are lizard people real? And God would be like, son, you made it this far and you asked me that stupid fucking question. And then I'd be like, all right, you got me. It was pretty stupid. It's pretty stupid. That's my conversation with God post-death. Anyways, enough fun. Enough. If you guys can't make me laugh, I'm going to make myself laugh. Joe Glagowski, appreciate your $10 super chat, brother. Appreciate you. Says, choose one: waterbender, earthbender, airbender, or firebender. Shit, man, that's a hard choice. Choose one, though? I think fire. I think I'm going to go with fire, man. That's what I vibe with. That dragon energy. That's where I'm at. I'm on that fire energy for sure. Let me see. Oh, Thank you, David, for bringing up the super chat. He says, Mahev K, what do you think the market will look like in 2022? So, the 2022 year is really powerful, and I don't exactly know yet how our cycle is going to look because I need to see how early January looks. Like, if we transition into early January somewhat bullish, then it'll be easier to determine like what's going on. But let's just say we stay sideways, like around 57 to 52K Bitcoin all the way until like mid-January, that's a sign that we might be in what's called a huge reaccumulation after decline pattern that has led to another reaccumulation after decline pattern, like back-to-back reaccumulation after decline schematics for those of you that use Wyckoff. And then, we're going to have to consider like an extended cycle. But again, like we don't really know because we've seen these last-minute shakeouts happen in prior bull runs in the tech sector. We've seen them happen in the stock market where like we get a last minute correction and then it creates a parabola that finishes off the run. So I just want to be like kind of open-minded to anything at this point. The market structure doesn't look great, but I really appreciate your super chat, man. I don't really want to talk about the market. I gotta admit, like I want to like get that stuff out of my mind, but I really appreciate your support. Thank you. All right, let's move through. Let's find some other questions. Been about an hour and a half. Let's take a moment to just close our eyes. Seriously, 400 people up in here. Take a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just be grateful. Just blow out with your exhale any fears you have, any hate, any doubts, any negativity. Close your eyes, breathe deep, exhale out that energy. Then open your eyes, feel the gratitude. Fiona Black says, love listening to you. How do I listen to your previous live shows? So, Fiona, I typically remove the live streams after 24 hours from the public because of the content that we talk about. Typically, we say things that could be potentially, triggering to the algorithm. So, I try to just not get caught up in that. And I'll leave the live streams unlisted in the Discord for the Mastermind community members over on Patreon. Dylan says, my favorite live stream. Much love. You. Aquarius said, how did you start your journey? What was your tipping point that woke you up? Well, I was living in New York when 9/11 happened, and I had a friend who his father was a firefighter, and he had literally 6 brothers and 7 sisters. He had a huge family. He was a Polish kid. I remember this vividly. And his father was a firefighter. His father died, leaving his wife, a widow of 13 kids, right? And then this is how deep it gets. A year or two later, I started putting together the pieces behind clearly there was explosives here. Clearly these, columns can't just collapse in on themselves this way. There was magma steel inside of these, molten steel inside of these buildings. Any firefighter exposed this already. The people who were there at the event. So, I'm diving deeper, and then I started to learn that they found the passports. Wait up. So you found the passports of the hijackers in a building that incinerated to dust. So what's going on here, guys, is I'm learning about all this shit, and I just cannot stop thinking about this fucking kid who had his father taken from him. because of this fucking scam. 7 sisters, 6 brothers. It just like tore me to pieces, you know? Like it fucking tore me to pieces. Just thinking about this kid and his mother. And how they sacrificed so many firefighters on that day for that fucking scam. So, yeah, I mean, ever since then, of course, like I was angrier back then. I was much more bitter. I was learning. I didn't have that like high vibes Jordan just yet like I have now. But just thinking back to that time, like it really fucked me up, man, when I started learning about that shit. So yeah, that was probably a big, besides that, changing up the way I consume, changing up the way I think in general, like just being more love-based. It's unlocked a lot of wisdom and just, yeah, gnosis for me. But, when the next day after 9/11, I was in my backyard and my backyard was covered in like 2 inches of ash. I needed to take the garbage out for my mom, and I couldn't because I couldn't even find the fucking garbage bags because they were covered in like soot and ashes. I just think about that day so much because like I knew people who literally got affected by it, and they weren't even at work that day. They were just people that were taken because of the whole experience of, there's a lot of firefighters that were in my neighborhood when I was growing up. A lot of police officers. It was pretty fucked up. So yeah, anyways, kind of zap that from my mind for a little bit so I could stay on that energy. Let's see. Stuart says, much love, Jordan. Awesome live tonight. A lot of good vibes and red pills. That's what's up. I appreciate you being here. I'm just trying to get through some of these replies and get to some questions. So if I have any silence, that's why. Oh, the Mozzie kid says, Jordan, bro, thank you for enlightening me. What do you think about Nikola Tesla's theory of 369 and manifestation? So, I gotta start this one out. First of all, thank you, Mozzie kid. I appreciate you. Seriously, appreciate your support. So Nikola Tesla might not be a real person. Like, he's not really like, he's like mythological. So also giving credit to him for this 369 thing is like, I'm not saying that you're doing it, but it's very like, it's not necessarily facts. Like, these numbers are showing up in Hermeticism and all sorts of like ancient knowledge and wisdom, like even the Talmud. So I'm not giving any credit to this fucking Nikola Tesla guy. I think Nikola Tesla is just the duality to the Edison character. And it's just that's what they want out of this whole thing. They love doing that, the New World Order. Like when it comes to his story, history, his story, they always give you 2 guys to fucking play around with in your heads without even proving. And that's what indoctrination is. Indoctrination is when you blindly accept some story that someone else told you without any further investigation. And I just like when people want to talk about this 369 thing and give so much, give it all to Tesla. I'm like, nah, man. Like Tesla, even if he was real, all he was doing was finding technologies that already existed way before him that go back to Babylon. That's all this is. So again, any decoders out there, 369, and I'm trying to remember the exact shape that is it a nonagon? I think it is a nonagon. And how the numbers move, and yeah, it's really quite interesting stuff. But I think more people need to go look up Nikola Tesla and kind of learn a little bit more about this character. He's more of a psyop, mythological creature than a real person who's done any sincere, unique work. But yeah, if you guys mess around with decoding with Gematria, you'll see that a lot of these reductions come back to 369. And 9 is the final number in the sequence of numbers. 3 is the Trinity. 6 is the last day before the Sabbath or the rest. I mean, start learning about the numbers individually, and then you'll start to see how they all connect. And I think that's where there's a lot more gusto in our learning. Let me yeah, people are talking about Boyd. Yeah, I mean, guys, don't get me wrong. Boyd Anderson, he's a wild guy. I admit, I don't believe 90% of the shit he told me, but I spoke with him on the phone at least, so I could tell you his vibe. And his vibe is consistent. He is not like a different character on YouTube videos versus like the phone calls. Like, he is a real one. So I respect that, you know, whether he's wrong or right. Like, he got on the phone with me and was telling me like Bitcoin's going to crash and ETH Classic is going to be like the best crypto. And I was like, okay, whatever you say, man. But like, he owned it. He was a real one about it. And I fuck with that energy, man. I love that energy. Like, it's not about being right or wrong. It's just about being something, you know? He wasn't wishy-washy. He really believed in what he was saying and he owned it, and I respect that. And he at least had rhyme and reason to a lot of his feelings and a lot of the connections behind the feelings he had. So after having a real one-on-one with him, I can say that he's authentic. So Steven says time is the most valuable currency in the world. So Steven, I'm gonna come back at you with a little bit of a challenge. Love is the most valuable currency in the world. Love is the most valuable currency in the world. The second most valuable currency in the world is attention. Time is time, brother. You can't use time. You could use your attention, though. And do you apply the attention that you use on love, on things that serve your purpose? Then that's all that matters to you. Time is not the most valuable. Time is an illusion. Love is the answer. I love this question. What is the quickest way to make money? The quickest way to make money is believe you already have the amount of money that you're trying to manifest. Just believe it. Crypto Fitter, much love to you. Appreciate you. So, Equipios3, $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your super chat. He says, laughs for the God convo. Keep doing you, Waters. Yeah. Hell yeah. Dragon energy, baby. Nigel said, no way, Jordan. You're an airbender for sure. I don't even know what I answered to that question. Is that from like an anime? That's from like an anime, right? Oh my god. Parasite. Not you, Nigel. This fuck boy that came after you. All right. Let's move on. Kenzie Joe says, curious to know more about you as a person. Can you share information about yourself? I feel like I do that all the time on these live streams, at least. I'll tell you something, I guess, about me. My hair is very long. It's longer than most girls. I eat black grapes a lot. My favorite animal is a lemur. I've been drinking a lot of orange juice lately. I look at crypto charts about 10 minutes every day, unless I'm making a video, which I make about 2 videos per week for YouTube and 1 video for my Red Pill episode, in which I look at the screen quite a bit for that one, because those are my technical analysis podcasts I do on the weekends. So I don't spend a lot of my time looking at the market. with all that extra time, I'm working with clients typically and doing some decodes, and I love cooking. I love playing music. I play guitar quite a bit. I try to play music at least like 2 hours a day minimum. What else can I tell you about me? I'm not really alive. I'm actually a figment of your imagination. I'm just a voice coming to you from the firmament. Jay Chef says, where is Jody today? I think Jody's a little busy with something today. She's usually showing up to these, but she has a life too. Let's show some love to Jody out there. She's been here since the beginning. She's one of my favorites for sure. Let's see. Let's move through it. Zach says, can I ask what your thoughts, or do you study Elliott wave theory? So Elliott wave is a little bit hard in crypto because everyone has their own way of like drawing where their ABC is, and like, you know, so I've seen just so many people do Elliott wave wrong. And if I had to give a shout out to anyone who used Elliott wave that I know does it correct, and they are a source of, you know, they're a source of, how do I say this? Like somebody I would trust. It would be that one guy, Alessio Rastani. Alessio Rastani is like the man for sure. If you want to learn more about Elliott wave, go check out his work. This dude calling me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, leaving you a message. I'm like, oh, you must be busy. Call me later.
Oh, no, I'm on a live stream right now, actually. Say hi to everyone.
What's up, everybody in the wolf pack? That's awesome.
Yeah, we're having a good time. I was actually talking about you a little bit earlier. Let me call you after this.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, man.
I'll come on and join you, man. I just got done a reading, so.
All right, man. Much love.
I guess you.
Sorry about that. Logan called me. Paul, much love. Over to Australia. Mystic Mayhem. Oh. Love you, Jordan. Thank you for being a lighthouse of love and positivity. Wish we could have a magical hang time in Mushy Land. Yeah, man, I would love that. We got to do another one of those live streams with the when we all did some you know what. That was a good time. Did you used to watch anime? If so, what is your favorite? So I don't watch anime, but the one anime that I do always make some time for is anything by Hayao Miyazaki. So like the Ghibli stuff, like every time I watch Ghibli Studio stuff, I cry. Like every time I'm just like, fuck. It's so emotional and so good. Like there's so many parts that are just like really cute, and I'm just like, I can't hold it back. I start crying like a baby. I love it. I love just like feeling emotions sometimes, and to have a cartoon, you know, I'm no disrespect, but like that anime, and at that time to do it at that quality with that level of artistry, like mind blowing. Biggest respect ever to Hayao Miyazaki and all the other people in his, I guess the whole studio, whoever was helping on that collaboration. But for that to evoke like emotion is powerful, super powerful. Mike Wilt, appreciate you. So Quack Crypto says, have you done 5 grams in the silent darkness? Yes. I've done 5 grams on an empty stomach, and sat like in a dark room, and that like it didn't last long because my thoughts are like so wild that I was just like woof, you know, like it was wild. But I didn't do that sitting in the dark for too long. The most I've ever done was like 7 or 8, and that was a lot. Like I was looking at the bricks outside. Like there was this brick tile on the ground, and they were like lifting out of the ground and shifting around and going back into the place, and it looked like I was learning how the bricks were laid. Like the illusion of it. It was crazy. It's absolutely wild. Let me see. Stuart says, shout out to Mama Wolf. Yeah. All the love. What up with the whack dating app? No, I don't know if there's ever going to be a Waters Above crypto dating app. That's fuck, man. Who knows if that some programmer out there could probably do that in our community. That'd be funny as hell. That'd be so funny. All right, I'm just trying to find some questions. I should probably roll back because I think when I... Let me see. Steven says, how do I get rid of fatigue? Well, you know, fatigue is sometimes adrenal. So, like, perhaps you're draining through whatever hydration you've been doing to yourself, because the way that you're hydrating yourself doesn't include minerals. So you definitely want to be cognizant of that. Like if you want to get rid of fatigue, you obviously need energy, but it's sustaining energy. And a good way to do that would be fruit, and also putting citrus inside of your water instead of drinking pure clear water. So like you could consider buying some Shilajit or concentrates minerals, like some sort of liquid mineral solution. And then add that to your water, perhaps a little bit of pink, like Himalayan salt, and definitely some citrus, like some lemon or lime juice. And this way, when you're hydrating yourself, you're not just hydrating with pure, like just regular pure water. You could actually have what's called interstitial hydration, where it's filling within the cells, and it's that mineral being included with the liquid will shove that hydration within the cell, and that's really important because that'll sustain you. Especially if you're exercising or you have a job that's very physically demanding, you're going to drain a lot of yourself. And again, on the other side of things, if you don't move a lot and you're very sedentary, like you don't move at all, and you're drinking a lot of like coffee and a lot of tea, and these things are definitely going to put a lot of pressure on your adrenals. Definitely probably stay away from espresso and like milk-based espresso drinks. That shit will not give you any energy. It will steal energy from you. If you want to get some energy when you wake up in the morning, definitely consider some water with lemon. A little bit of Shilajit is always good because people are lacking minerals a lot in their body, and then their whole system is bogged down. And yep. So hope that helps, brother. Let's move on. And just eat more fruit. Like when you eat more fruit, it's the food that has the most hydrative value anyways, and it's packed with minerals. So eating real fruit it's going to give you life force. Let me see. I don't know. I think we're getting pretty close to the end here, guys. It's been about 2 hours. What's the longest, I think Logan just showed up. Logan, what's the longest live stream you've ever done? Like 4 hours? I know he does some pretty epic ones. Yes, it's a whack dating app. That's too funny, man. Okay, so yeah, Cole has confirmed that Pluto's return is on 2/22 in the second house in Capricorn. Interesting times. I got a couple theories myself. So yeah, so the Platinum Jubilee starts on the 6th, and then of course like we have that 2/22 date, the 2nd of February. I'm like open-minded to anything at this time. Does anyone know when the full moon is in February? That might be something interesting. I also need to look into the eclipses in 2022. I do believe there's an eclipse on May 16th. which again comes back into that time frame of my May 13th date that I've been working on with Logan. Oh man, I would love to do a sensory deprivation float tank. That's definitely something I'm going to do in the future. I was going to say in the past, like I'm a fucking time traveler or something. That's something I'm going to do in the past. My bad. Let me see. Whoa. Logan's done a 6-hour podcast. Oh my God. 6 hours? Did you have to leave like for bathroom breaks? Like, was somebody holding a gun to your head? That must have been, all jokes aside, that must have been epic. 6 hours, fuck. That's really wild. Cody says, how many one-night stands have you had? Because then I look down a couple comments and I see Decode Your Reality 6+. It's so funny. Too funny. Sending you infinite love too, Steven. I appreciate you. Yeah, I love tuning into those What's Your Questions whenever Logan does those and I have some free time. Sometimes he's doing them like perfectly at a time where I'm finished eating dinner and like I'm ready to like chill out. So it's great to be able to catch them. Hey Jody, what's good? Glad you made it. Oh, that's great to hear, Steve. Yeah, I mean, anyone who's a decoder, you know, like next year is packed full of dates. I mean, it's undeniable. It's like pretty incredible to see all the palindrome dates, and yeah, I mean, it's endless. Next year is just jam packed. The same thing with 2020 though, and you guys saw how that turned out. I mean, come on. March 13th, Friday the 13th, 2020, since we're all in crypto, that was a wild ride. Anyone who experienced that, shit, that was the greatest buying opportunity in history, especially for altcoins, because we went on to see, sorry for touching the mic, we went on to see altcoins do like 5,000% on average gains. And it didn't take that long. It only took about like a year to see that manifest, some even sooner. And then on particular coins, we were seeing 70,000%, 80,000%. You know, it was pretty insane. Anyways, I know Jody just showed up and I know Logan just showed up, and it's kind of like, it's sad to bring this to an end, but I do have to head out. It's been about 2 hours on this live stream. I really appreciate everyone. Tonight was full of laughs, full of like wisdom, full of just like beautiful moments hanging out with each other. I really appreciate all of you, but I am going to hang it up. I have some other things I have to take care of. So I appreciate every one of you, wishing you the most beautiful weekend ahead. Of course, I will be doing my Red Pill episode technical analysis podcast this weekend. I'm going to be sharing my sentiments on an alt season because that seems to be something a lot of people are interested in. This idea of what an alt season is and how it's going to manifest itself in the charts. And just all my ideas behind that, because we're kind of at those final moments of a bull run perhaps, and it might be important for us to be prepared. So I'll go ahead and I will leave my Patreon down at the bottom for anyone who's interested in that. Again, I appreciate everyone for showing up. We'll leave a link down there. Sending you guys all the love. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your weekend. Much love.